All right, everybody, welcome back to the B.AND.R Show. Would you care if I turned it over to you, Shadow Man? Got something to say?
Oh, right. You want me to talk about some more about the weekend, or should I talk about what I'm going to be talking about?
You just talk about what you're going to be talking about. I think people would want to know that.
Okay, well, as you know, and as you've heard before, once the show gets started again, I will be going back to the old 50s and 60s TV shows, the horror films, which back then were excellent, not like today's. The horror shows of yesteryear made you actually think.
Yeah?
They didn't show gore. I mean, granted, it's good to show blood once in a while, but not all the time, not every 3 minutes. What I liked about it was that you actually, and I mean actually, had to think, such as in the movie The Haunting, the way they described the ghost walking down the corridor. And I love that. That's my favorite horror film of all for Halloween, which I have, incidentally. Most of these movies I still have. I've got an old guidebook for the 50s and 60s, which has all the worst movies and the best movies. I also will be talking about the actual hauntings of around here and around other areas of the United States and of the world, especially Ireland. I've always wanted to go to Ireland. Scotland, England especially with Jack the Ripper. And I bet you didn't know there actually was a Jack the Ripper, I believe, in Russia. And there was a Jack the Ripper, I believe it was in California.
Didn't know that.
Uh-huh. And it's funny how it was the same thing. It was prostitutes. They all killed the same amount and then disappeared. So who knows? I mean, it's kind of like the Loch Ness Monster or Sasquatch or something like that. You know, they appear and then they disappear. And they come back again after a certain amount of years.
Yeah?
To me, that's I would love to see something like that because I've always loved the horror things. And I love the old TV shows where they actually had happy endings, not like today's shows. Well, actually, not like today's shows, period, because there are no happy endings. There are no endings. I can also remember in the 80s when they used to have the soap operas at nighttime. Shows like Dallas, Dynasty, Knots Landing, Falcon Crest. I think those were the 4 ones. It was from Wednesday to Friday. Friday had 2 of them. They had Dallas and they had Falcon Crest. Thursday was Knots Landing, and Wednesday started it all with Dynasty. And then they started bringing other ones in. Right now, like in Walmart, you can buy back in the 50s and all that, in the 60s and 70s. They now have Night Gallery, the very first season of that. I don't know if you know what Night Gallery was. I'm sure the baby boomers do, with Rod Serling. That's another one of my favorite ones. I like the Twilight Zone. I liked all the ones. And I'm sure if you're a spy buff, there was always the Man from U.N.C.L.E. carried on with the Girl from U.N.C.L.E. Do you ever have any favorite shows?
Yeah, there's a couple of older shows I really liked that I've watched before. I think it's Kojak and the Night Stalker.
Yeah, it was just called The Night Stalker, but Kojak was his name.
Okay.
He was the reporter.
That was a really good one.
Yes.
And then
But then they remade it and it was really bad.
oh god.
Yeah. Darren McGavin was excellent.
Mm-hmm. And then there was another one, but I can't remember the name of it anymore. I was a kid when I watched it. My grandpa loved it, and
Did you see the movie that started Kojak?
huh?
I can't think of the name now. By Jeff Rice, about a vampire. I think it was just called The Night Stalker.
Huh.
And it became #1 in the rated movie, TV movies.
Now, I don't know if you've heard of this one or not. My uncle watched this one, and I don't know if it was that big of a hit or not. It was only on for maybe 2 or 3 years. It was called Dracula: The Untold Stories, and it was a series that was made, I think,
In the 80s.
80s, yes, late 70s, early 80s, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a really good one. And my uncle was a really big Dracula vampire fan, and
Yeah, they had the Van Helsing family, and they were trying to capture Dracula. And Dracula was played by Frank Gellin, I believe that was his name. He was popular in the soap operas at that time.
yeah.
And let me make sure. I think that was the Night Stalker. I can find out in a minute.
But there's just a lot of older, really, really good shows out there that are not like today's shows.
But that was what you would call it was 3 different shows. There was one, Dracula was on 1 week. The next one was a Western.
Huh.
And the last one was something else about another one. I can't think what it was.
Yeah.
But it was all pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, here, let me see. Night Stalker. Of course, it might go on to the real Night Stalker.
Yeah.
The film. Here it is. Yeah, it was a film, the Night Stalker movie. Yep. My
But-
word.
But there's just, there's only a few shows of today I really watch. One that I was really in tune with was Burn Notice. Yet one of them I really love is Criminal Minds.
Mm-hmm. Criminal Minds. I can watch that all the time.
And I love Law and Order Special Victims Unit. Out of all the Law and Orders that were ever made, Special Victims Unit was my favorite. If you're not a Law and Order fan, you've got to watch at least SVU.
Yes.
Or Criminal Intent, one of the two.
One of them. I know. I wasn't even a Criminal Minds fan until I started watching it on TV after. I mean, it's still on now. But I think this is its last season because what's his name is leaving. Or has already left. The black guy, the Black Star. Shamar or whatever his name is.
Yeah. And I loved, and this is not really too old of a show, but X-Files. I love the X-Files. I don't know why.
The 1990s.
I just loved the X-Files.
Well, it's because it left a question.
Yeah, and to me it left you thinking, is there really another
Galaxy.
is there really another race like us?
Uh-huh.
Like the human being?
Well, I've always liked dinosaurs. And I remember the one episode about the lake creature that what they did was there was an alligator that was actually in the lake, and you thought that it was the one that killed everybody. But then at the end, after they killed the alligator, they left, and as they were leaving, you saw his head come out of the water, and it was a dinosaur. And you go like, okay, so
Yeah.
I mean, just like I still think there are dinosaurs still living.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be. No living form can die off completely. Like the way they said dinosaurs did. They just have to be seen. Or have to be,
Yeah. Well, Sean, do you have anything else to say before we go off tonight?
No,
That's it?
just had a good time.
Yeah.
I just hope that you all think about what we've talked about. Don't go off path, Think about it. Analyze it. And just go, they could be right, they could be wrong, whatever.
That's right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for all the listeners out there and listeners who have previously listened. We invite you to visit our website, the B.AND.R Show. The B.AND.R Show. I haven't been able to get this website right for a while. The B.AND.R Show.simdiff.com. the B.AND.R Show.simdiff.com. Find upcoming broadcasts. We'll put on what Shadow Man's talked about, news, anything. If you want to see that, you're more than welcome to visit it. Also, we invite you to visit our Facebook page. That's where most of our shows are going to be located. Political Buzz is the name for our Facebook page. If you have any questions, concerns, thoughts, comments, whatever you may have, email us, B&RShow@yahoo.com. Or you can call the show at 754-200-3171. 754-200-3171. With that being said, God bless you, God bless America, but most of all, God bless your freedom.
Rights.
Good night, everybody.